If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Hello, Laws on the Road subscribers and followers. Well, I always told you I would tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly of living out here in a national forest in a pop-up camper. This isn't really all that bad, it's not all that good, it's just, it's a question I get a lot. What do we do about the creepy crawlies, the bugs, the snakes, the mice, and all of it? So I thought I would just kind of do, I don't know, kind of a humorous video about some of the creepy crawlies that we ran into. Not all of them all are dangerous. What's so funny, what's so neat about it is there's bugs out here I had no idea existed. You know, Missouri is a hot, humid place in the summertime, and you deal with ticks and mosquitoes. And there's always this threat of Lyme disease, and you know, so, but you know, we lived out in the country. It is what it is, and you do the best to protect yourself. If you get a tick, you know, you keep an eye on it for a few days. If you don't feel well, then you go to the doctor and say, hey, I was bit by a tick the other day and I don't feel well today. But you get out here and it's a whole new world. There's bugs down here in Florida that Missouri doesn't have. In Missouri, we had snakes. We had two dangerous snakes. We had the cottonmouth and we had the copperhead. And I've had experiences with both of them. And just real quick, when I was a kid, I was playing around out in the woods with my friends. We were playing tag, basically, out in the woods. And I jumped down to a creek bed. It was a cool early spring. I bet it was 40 degrees. And there was a copperhead right in front of my face. I mean, just, ah! Of course, he didn't strike or anything because it was so cold. And then another time with water moccasins, I walked down to the creek bed, down to the creek. I was the first one kind of lead my friends down, and someone yelled, "The ground is moving." We all knew what that meant. The ground was just covered with baby water moccasins, cottonmouths. Water moccasins, cottonmouths, same thing. You know, we get out here and we haven't seen, cross our fingers, any poisonous snakes. The only one I was very familiar with was the black snake, and boy, there was a lot of black snakes in southeast Virginia. There was a lot. I bet we saw 5 or 6 within a 2-week period. So there was a lot of black snakes there. The one that made me wake up was one who was trying to crawl into the camper. So, ah! Now here's one that's not scary at all. Was we went down to South Carolina, and they have this thing called a love bug. They're love bugs, and I guess it's because they mate. I don't know how this works, but really what you have is 2 bugs that are stuck together, a bigger bug and a smaller bug, and they stuck together and they fly around, and there's thousands of them all around you all the time, and they would fly around in your face. And while I was doing videos, you know, you'd see all these love bugs kind of flying around, but I didn't know what they were until one of the subscribers told me. Down in Florida, I have this interesting little bug called the no-see-um. Had no idea of its existence, and I've never seen one because I guess that's why they call them no-see-ums. I don't know. But this bug is very interesting. You don't even see it, but you sure do know it's there. And the way you know it is one day you'll wake up and you'll have pimples, what looks like pimples, around your ankle. I couldn't figure out what it was. I was just baffled. And I didn't know how to ask the question in Google to find out the answer. Just so happened, Dad showed up and I said, man, I don't know what's going on with my ankle. This is crazy. Carolyn had them too. What kind of terrible disease did we pick up? And he says, oh no, that's no-see-ums. He says, I get them on my face, you get them on your ankle. That's really interesting. So, who knew? Now, of course, you run into the mosquito problems and the gnat problems down here in the South, and I knew this about gnats. Down here in the South, gnats are notorious. Oh, just all over, in your eyes. They love going in your eyes. In your ear. I had one go way down in my ear canal. I'm down there with a Q-tip trying not to hurt myself, trying to get that guy out. And he stayed alive a while in there. So in Missouri, we have the brown recluse. It's a spider, and it has a violin shape on its back. That's how you can tell it's a brown recluse. Well, in Missouri, I mean, you got to get the magnifying glass out to see it. I mean, they're really small. And usually they like dark spots, dark, moist areas. Usually like to hang out in the bathtub with the shower curtain closed or underneath the bed or something like that. And, you know, you'd open up the shower curtain and it could be crawling around. They really weren't that big of a threat. I only know one person that's ever been bit by one. And they're kind of dangerous. They like to, it will rot skin. Carolyn knows someone that was bit by one, so it's not that common. But they're very tiny. Well, down here in Florida, we knew that brown recluses exist in Florida. Wasn't that worried about it, no more worried about it than we were in Missouri. Well, the other day I woke up and I was heading over to the inverter. You know, I have my morning routine where I start the generator, I come over to the inverter, and I switch the inverter over to the generator. And all of a sudden I was kind of stuck. I'm being a little silly there, but I mean, there was a spider web made by Spider-Man himself. It was a massive spider web. I've never seen one this thick. I mean, it was, oh man, I mean, it was a lot of spider web. Peter Parker would have been proud. Got it all cleaned up and I got my inverter done and I got on the computer and for some reason, oh, I know what it was. I was checking the battery charger and I turned around and I looked and on the canvas, there was this spider there handing me the bow to his violin. This guy was huge. Of course, I'm being silly. He didn't hand me a bow. But he was oh gosh, how do I explain it? He was bigger than a $50. Brown recluse. I could see the violin from across the camper. I realize that's not a lot of room, but you know, back in Missouri, you really had to get up close. I'm sitting several feet away, and there was this brown recluse. It was huge. Biggest brown recluse I've ever seen. Again, now I'm a little bit on the lookout for these spiders. I don't know if they're more dangerous or more poisonous or anything, but wow! You know, I'm not afraid of spiders, but I'm going to take an extra look every morning just to make sure there aren't one hanging out on the canvas somewhere. That dude was big. So, anyway, yes, there are creepy crawlies out here, and if you're too timid to deal with them, then I would suggest that this is not your dream. So, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.